radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio. Yeah. For the masses. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? All right. We're back. Today is Thursday, December 27th. Unbelievable. 361 days into the new year. Just 4 days left, people. That's it. 4 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. You guys are too much. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? You know I'm good. You know I'm good. That's right. This is our first show in a week, right? We were gone for a week, Christmas. And last night we had our holiday Christmas party at the Rainbow. I'll talk about that in just a minute. So we did that. We're back tonight. And then this is going to be our last show for about a week because it is now New Year's. And I'm off this weekend. Rita and I will be heading out to Las Vegas for New Year's. And I've never spent New Year's Eve in Las Vegas on the Strip, so that's what we are going to do this year. Every year we have a big New Year's Eve party over at our house. This year, our family, we are all going to Las Vegas. And there you go. So we're going to spend it there. And then we will be back, and our next show, I believe, is next Wednesday night, and Laura Eisenhower is our first guest of 2019, and then next Thursday we will do Fadernight, and then I am over at Coast to Coast AM. Okay? And I'll do a little leak. I don't care, man. I don't care. Next Saturday night at Coast, my guests are Tyler Glockner of Secure Team and Chad Kalick will be my two guests, and that will be going down next Saturday night. So there you go. It's been an amazing week since we last talked. And Christmas and everything else, and then last night, the Rainbow. Tonight is Fader Night. We have Theresa Canaris here, Divine Frequency on the Airwaves at the bottom of the hour. And a little bit later, at the top of the hour, Jeff Harman is here. That's right, Jeff Harman, who is here every year for predictions for 2019. So we'll do that at the top of the hour, and then at the bottom of the hour, we will open up the phone lines and head straight into Fader Night. Okay, there you go. That's our night tonight. Wow. Okay, and open lines at which will be 8:30 our time out here. Okay, so Theresa Canaris, Jeff Harman, and then open lines. There you go. Okay, Twitter at JChurchRadio. That is simple. Come and join us on Twitter. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Of course, on Stellar.com. You can go and register and join the community over there. Send me a friend request on Stellar.com. Facebook is Facebook, and I believe that is Jimmy Church Radio. You can go and like our Facebook company page over there. And, of course, YouTube, you can subscribe. There you go. All right, it's all easy to do. But at Church Radio is Twitter. And the Sandbox, which normally runs about, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 tweets a night. If you want to join in on the conversation, hit us up over there, hashtag F2B. It is live. We have 2 chat rooms open, of course. And I'm looking over now at the Spreaker chat room, and I see Catalina, who was at the party last night. She was amazing. I'm looking at everybody over in the chat rooms. You can join in on conversation there, or over at KGRA and their chat room right there, right? Everything is live and in real time. You can also email throughout the show, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. If you have any questions or comments during this show or any other, hashtag F2BQ. That's the number 2, F2BQ, Fade to Black questions. There you go. All right, let's get to some breaking news. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, and Teresa's going to be here at the bottom of the hour. But some pretty huge news. Pretty huge news. The Black Mirror Bandersnatch movie trailer dropped today. Now, I'm a huge fan of Black Mirror, all of the seasons. And this is the movie, right? It's called Black Mirror Bandersnatch. You can check out the trailer. It's on Netflix. But this is what is strange. They dropped it today. Tomorrow, Friday, December 28th, it premieres on Netflix. That will be tomorrow night. And I'm telling you, you know what I'm doing. I'm watching Black Mirror Bandersnatch. It's about, I don't want to give it away. You can go watch the trailer if you want. With Black Mirror, it's best just to go into every episode, not knowing what it's about. Just watch it and be affected by it. But this is a 1980s. It's set in the 1980s, and it's about this kid that is a video game creator. Okay, now that right there with Black Mirror, that sets it up. You know it's going to be awesome. And so that's what this is. And the music and everything else, at least what is in the trailer. I don't have any secrets or any spoilers here, and I don't. But it looks like it's gonna be correct. So that premieres tomorrow night, Friday, December 28th on Netflix. Black Mirror Bandersnatch. All right. All right, the government shutdown looks like it's going to drag right on into 2019 after the House and the Senate both adjourned until next week. And that's it. The new House comes in, and Congress, oh, man, no end in sight. No end in sight as it stands right now. Everybody seems to be really far apart. Thankfully, it's not the entire government. But nonetheless, it is a shutdown, and it looks like it's gonna continue until these two sides figure out a way to get out of it. And there you go. And that's that. They both the House and the Senate, they adjourned. They went in 3 minutes, right? Okay, all right. Are we there? No, we're not. Okay, boom, done, out of here. So that's it. That's it. There was like no discussions, nothing getting debated, nothing getting discussed. They just blew out of town, and they'll be back next week. Oh, man. All right. Now, last night. Also going on right now in Astoria in Queens. And if you haven't seen the tweets, I jumped all over the news in New York to go check this out. The skies have been lighting up blue, right? And everybody wondering what it is. Of course, you know, the talk of aliens. Pretty strange. It looks like, as of right now, a transformer blew up, and it must have been a pretty massive explosion to light up the skies like that. Totally blew. At night, too. Blew. That a transformer blew up at a Con Edison plant. And I did see one video on Twitter from the rooftop of somebody's apartment right there, and it's right next to what is going on. You can see it on the ground there. So it's not up in the sky, but it looks like it's in the sky. I mean, whatever it is, it was big, and it was definitely blue. But it's all over Twitter. You can head to any of the New York news websites, ABC, NBC, Fox. They're all reporting on it right now. Not a whole lot of details, though. Not a whole lot of details. Okay, so there is that. Where am I? Oh, so last night, I do want to thank everybody that was there. We had our holiday party at the Rainbow Bar and Grill right there in West Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard. And it was absolutely amazing. It was perfect, a perfect night. More on that in just a bit, but just thank you to everybody that was there. I could spend the rest of this show thanking everybody individually, but lots of stuff has been posted, and it was great. And we got out of there last night at 1:30. Yeah, 1:30. We got there at about 6:30, and we left at 1:30 in the morning, and we left a lot of people there. You guys just wanted to keep it going. So I'm wondering what time everybody else. It looked like the goal was to close the Rainbow, and that's a pretty cool thing to do. So there you go. That was last night, and I'll talk some more about that in just a bit. And I do want to remind everybody to come and join us for the 2019 Conscious Life Expo right here in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton, February 22nd through the 25th. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I'll be hosting the panel with Eric Friday night. So you want to get your tickets in advance, okay? Get your tickets in advance. It's going to sell out. Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, Rabbi Ariel Bar Zadok, and David Wilcock. They will be on the panel with me and Eric, and that will be Friday night. And the rest of the weekend, so many amazing speakers and lectures that are going to be going on. Of course, George Norrie has got his award ceremony that he is doing in his panel. I think it's called Questions. And so that'll be happening. Both of those events, Nassim Haramein, Robert Schock, Danny and Brinkley, Grant Cameron is going to be there, Julia Mossbridge, Teresa Yanaris is going to be there too as well speaking. She'll be with us at the bottom of the hour. And another 50 speakers and presenters. So you're not going to want to miss this, the 2019 Conscious Life Expo. All you have to do is go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Conscious Life Expo banner for tickets and a full conference schedule. They've got a brand new website up and up on the web. You need to go and check that out. And it's all very simple to do. Just click on the CLE banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. We're going to see you there. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And we've got a bunch of other events that are going down in 2019. And, of course, Contact in the Desert and Soul Tech, a couple of Disclosure Fest, a couple of other things going on in between. And we may be, I'm not saying anything right now. It's being talked about. But we may hold another event at the Rainbow, too, as well. Okay? So we'll talk about all of that in 2019 when we come back again next week after the first of the year. All right. Now, I've been talking about Bitcoin quite a bit. And the reason why is I'm just fascinated with the technology. That's the main thing. And I check it out every day. But here we are at the end of 2018, and what a crazy ride it has been for Bitcoin. And like I've been saying, it seems to have settled in right around $3,500. That's higher than what I thought it was going to be. The year's not over yet. But what is the future for Bitcoin? Wow, I thought it settled in at $6,000. I still say $10, $100, $1,000 needs to settle in at a round number right there. That's my prediction I'm serious, too. I'm going to stick by it. Also, I want to remind everybody, we've got all of these events coming up. Christmas has just gone past us. We have all of these events coming up, Conscious Life Expo and Contact and Soul Tech. And wherever you live, you want to go out and check out the night skies, and you want your night vision goggles. You want your own pair of NVGs. And the only place to shop, the only place to go is the place that builds ours, HoffmansOptics.com. Click on the banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. I get an email once a day. Where do I go? What do I do? I need some help. Go to HoffmansOptics.com. All right, and you will see that they make they make mine, the Jimmy Church model. It's right there, the Area 52, right? The deep blues. So they're right there, and you can go all the way up to the brand new, the best Generation G4. Think about that, and there's only one place to get it, only one, HoffmansOptics.com. And they've got everything that you need. Is right there. And give Alec Hoffman a call. He's a Fadernight, and he will guide you through the process. Okay? All right. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our podcast. It's just $2 a month. Click on the podcast banner, JimmyChurchRadio.com. And you can also become a Fadernight over in our membership section. It's all simple. Go to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Click on memberships and become an official Fadernight today. Anything that you want to do is right there. All right, let's get this show cracking. Yeah. I got my pipes back. At the end of the night last night, I was like, well, yeah, I just mingled for 6 hours. I just mingled, but I'm good today. Got my pipes back. It's all good. So I'll say it again. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Our dead guy's birthday today is Heather O'Rourke. 1975 to 1988, died at the age of 12. Of course, Heather was the child actress who starred in the Poltergeist series and playing Carol Ann. And then she tragically died at the age of 12 during surgery in 1988 after being misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease. But she will be forever remembered because of one of the most quoted lines in movie history. They're here. See, my voice, I can't do that. With my pipes, I can't do the Heather O'Rourke, they're here, but a lot of you can. And happy birthday, Heather. I know you're up there listening right now. On this day in history, 1968, it went down. Apollo 8, the first alleged manned mission to the moon, returned safely to Earth after a 6-day journey on this day in 1968. Now, here we go. Fader fact. You ready? The company, Samsung, accounts for 15% of South Korea's entire economy. And South Koreans often live in Samsung-owned apartment buildings. They get their treatment at Samsung-owned medical centers and facilities. They go to Samsung universities. And at the end of their life, they even end up at a Samsung funeral parlor when they die. That I can't make stuff up. That is your Fader fact. All right. Man, I'm looking at these pics. And Brad, that's incredible. Look at Wolf McCarran. Check out Wolfie sitting next to Natasha. Frankie Four Fingers. I believe that's Lori McDonald right there. And as you can see right on the table, this is the beginning of the round of shots at the end of the night. And what indicates this, well, is the glasses that are up in front. But there's a pizza box there because we just, this entire back, there was 2 booths that we had covered with food. We just cleared that and then brought in the vodka. Oh, there's a shot of the toast. Well done. Well done. And drinking first in the background is Wolf McCarran. But there you go. Yeah, he's drinking during my toast. Thank you. Brad, thank you for that. I didn't know you captured that on disc. Well done. Very cool. It was a great night last night. And I wanted to say this. There was a lot of pictures and video that were posted today from the rainbow last night. And I only took 2 pics all night. I took 2. I took 2 pics. One was a selfie. I posted it. And the other one was with Michael Littman at the end of the night with his flying saucer sweater. And that was it. I didn't take any pictures all night long. And I know that that's hard to believe. I can't believe it. It's not my normal method of operation, but that's what happened. But today, Jason Quit posted a video, and I got it up there, and it's up. And it's of the beginning of my little talk with everybody last night. And I want to share that story because in this video, I literally give the 5 or 10 second version of the story of what happened. But last night was pretty cool. So I'm going to tell the story of Dwayne Morgan. And it goes like this. When I got here to California and I went to the Rainbow, it was pretty cool to have our holiday party there last night, 35 years later. But when I went to the Rainbow and I'm there last night and I'm looking around and I'm just remembering things, these memories are coming flooding back. And I remember one night I was there and I was sitting in this booth with someone, but when I was there, I was literally like wondering how I was going to get my life on track, and I'm there and it's a lot of people and action and it's loud and it's fun, but I'm there just going, okay, man. And I'm 21 years old, 21, just a kid. And I'm just trying to figure out life, those rock and roll dreams. But just before that moment in the booth, I was back in Indianapolis before I came out here. And that's before I flew out. And about a year before that, so we're going back to around 1980, late 83-ish, like right in there. I met Dwayne Morgan. And Dwayne was 16 years old. And he was visiting Indianapolis. He was visiting family out there. And I don't remember who or what, but he was out there visiting family. And I get introduced to Dwayne from a mutual friend of ours. His name was Tony Calgar. And Dwayne, 16 years old. I'm 20 at the time. I might have been 19, 20. And Dwayne is from Pasadena. And I'm like, really? Van Halen. So we have a whole Van Halen conversation. And you got to remember, at that time, what was going on in the world of music and rock and roll. And, man, this is very early on for Van Halen and all of this stuff. So we talk about that. And he's like, man, so I played some guitar for him. And I probably had a chance to hang out with Dwayne, 3 or 4 times before he flew back to California over a week. He's just out there visiting. And then he was gone. But he had given me his phone number. And he was 16. And he said, look, man, you need to be in California. You need to be out there. You need to come out. So if you ever decide to come out, here's my phone number. Call me. I know everybody. You can come stay with me. Here's the hookup. It's like, whatever. And about a year later is when I made the decision to move to California. And I called Dwayne a couple of times over that year. But now I'm flying out the next day, and I called Dwayne. I said, okay, man, I'm flying out tomorrow. Okay, man, call me when you get to Pasadena. I said, all right, okay, I'll see you. So the next day I fly out, and I give Dwayne a call. Of course, I couldn't stay at his house. That whole thing fell through. But the whole point about this is this. Dwayne Morgan is how I ended up not only in California, but in Pasadena. Dwayne Morgan. Now, Dwayne and I stayed friends back then. This is 84, 85. He roadied for our band. He was too young to get into the clubs, but he could get into the clubs if he was working for the band, right? So we did that for a minute, and but then I moved out of Pasadena, and I never saw Dwayne again. We just lost contact. You got to remember, it's before cell phones and the internet and everything else. And we just lost contact. And here I am at the Rainbow with Rita 35 years later. And guess who shows up at the Rainbow? Dwayne Morgan. And I haven't seen him in 35 years. Right? 35 years. And now he's grown up. He brings his son with him, who is very cool. And Dwayne has just grown up to be, he's at that time he was so much younger than me. Now we're the same age, right? I'm 55, he's 50. Right? But there he was. And it was so good seeing him and how life last night at the Rainbow came full circle. Now, think about that. It came full circle, right? Coming out here, Dwayne, from Indianapolis, the story starts with Dwayne, out to here, and, it's the Rainbow, all of that, and then to have life take you through all those experiences, and then wind up together again. And it was very cool. It was very cool. He met everybody last night, and for him to see all of the Fadernight and the coolness of this family, and for me to have him part of it, it was just a special night. So there you go. And Dwayne, if you're listening right now, thank you so much for everything, and you made last night very, very special. And having you meet Rita, So it was just an emotional thing. And that video that was posted up by Jason Quitt, it was cool, but it doesn't tell the full story. So there you go. There's the full story. And now I am going to get out of here because we've got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We've got Theresa Canaris, who's going to be here in just a minute. And then at the top of the hour, Jeff Harman will be here with his 2019 predictions. All right, this is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. And then at the bottom of the hour, when we come back and clear everything out, we'll open up the phone lines and look at all of your pictures that are posting up on Twitter. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Stay with us.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the Buy 2, Get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of Doing What's Right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Matthew, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, it's time. It's time for author, teacher, and host, Theresa Canaris and Divine Frequency on the Airwaves. Take it away, Teresa.
Hi, this is Theresa Canaris. I'm going to make y'all an offer you can't refuse tonight. It's Divine Frequency on the Airwaves Radio. We are talking tonight about miracles, the supernatural, and we're going to philosophize about what of it is potentially all baloney. I hope that everyone is enjoying a wonderful holiday season with their families. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever it is you guys are celebrating this season. I hope that it has been magical and filled with glitter and unicorns, obviously. You guys are tuning into On the Airwaves Radio tonight. The times have changed and the tides have shifted. Let's ride the airwaves. This show is packed with high energy mediatainment live. We are diving deep into the realms of the world. We are exploring the farthest reaches of the unknown. We are leaving no ocean unexplored. Today is Thursday, December 27th, 2018. We are closing out 2018. It feels good. We're going to start off with some news tonight. Global News reported that on Wednesday, December 26, 2018, that a miracle boy survived 45 minutes buried under an avalanche in the French Alps. This was a 12-year-old boy. He was dragged under an avalanche while skiing in the French Alps. He was on a black diamond run with his dad. I want to know what kind of training he had, because a black diamond run for a 12-year-old, this must have been a really good skier. He was under the snow for 40 minutes, and he should have only survived about 15 minutes, according to some of the people that I was listening to today. And so he was dragged over 100 yards. That's 30 stories. You can contextualize that for a second. He was found by a search dog, which I think is super cool. Maybe this is going to be a movie in the making. So was this just a coincidence, or was this a true holiday season miracle? So we're going to shift now. Let's dive right in. #MermaidLife. What is a miracle? So a miracle is defined as a surprising and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. It's also known as a highly improbable or extraordinary event, development, or accomplishment that brings very welcome consequences. So it's that magical time of the year where we reflect on the amazing parts of our experience, and we appreciate and feel gratitude for all that we have in our lives. And we're looking back on 2018 and we're closing out the year, and I'm sure we can all look back on our lives in this moment and contemplate about the miracles that we've witnessed in our lives. And I can tell you guys an interesting story. I was actually in Virginia in 1991 during the time of what's known as the Seton miracles, which is really cool. I was raised Catholic, and my church was St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church in Fairfax County. You can look this up. This is really cool. And our priest was named Father James Bruce, and he was giving a sermon one evening when the statues of Mary allegedly began to cry. And there were hundreds of people that witnessed this event. But it didn't just happen once or twice or 3 times. It happened a bunch of times. And it seemed to follow him around. He would go to other parishes and give sermons, and people would witness these statues that appeared to be crying. There were some other miracles that people described. Color-changing rosaries, which was pretty cool. I didn't witness this myself. It would have been really cool to see. He also allegedly experienced stigmata, which are the wounds of Jesus Christ. You can find the pictures actually online. I'll be happy to share the sources with you guys. I'll post it after the fact so you guys can see. He had wounds on his wrists where those were allegedly the wounds of Jesus Christ. Very interesting. Well, and the other priest at our church, he was Father Daniel Hamilton. When he saw the stigmata wounds on Father Bruce's wrists, he said, "Oh, stigmata." Father Bruce was like, "What?" And it's just really interesting. And one story from my sister, she was actually in a class, I think she was in 4th grade at the time, and her friend's mother was dying of cancer. She had stage 4 cancer, and she went to go see Father James Bruce, and there was a spontaneous, miraculous healing there, and she went into remission. And he performed multiple healings on people in the community. So this was a big deal for me growing up. This happened between the years of 1991 and 1993. It was in Time magazine. It was a worldwide event that people discussed, and they're still talking about to this day. And that's just one miracle that I've seen. I wonder about the miracles that you guys have seen in your life. When have you come in contact with something that was unexplained and incredible and wonderful and miraculous to witness? It's really interesting. There's a certain magical quality to miracles, right? So I do believe that there truly are moments where we experience the beyond, what lies beyond the physical. And then there are other moments where it's not so unexplainable, but really just based on a lack of full understanding of what's really going on. So for instance, I wanted to give you guys a really funny story of this. So every year, my family, we go out to East Texas for the holidays. And there's a little town that we go and we stay in. And this little town has this legend of Bigfoot, where they see Bigfoot allegedly. And I was there hanging out with my family, and I was walking down the street, And I came across one of the locals, and I started to talk to him, and I asked him, I said, look, you got to tell me about this Bigfoot myth. Like, what's going on with Bigfoot? And first he looked at me like I was crazy, and he didn't want to tell me. I could tell because I think he thought I was just going to make fun of him. But then I pulled out a business card, and I was like, look, this is what I do. So you're going to have to tell me about the Bigfoot. I promise I'm not here to make fun of you. And so he said, all right, I'm going to tell you about the Bigfoot, because he lived in this small town his whole life. So there was a legend that there was a Bigfoot in this small town, and there was a group of people that would come from across the world every year, and they would meet in this small town, and they would have somewhat of a Bigfoot convention, and they would trek around. This is swampland with cypress trees, and so they would hop on these pontoon boats, and they would go around in these boats, and they would try to look for Bigfoot on these islands. And so this guy that I was talking to, he got together with his friends. This is back when they were teenagers. And one of the guys dressed up in what looked like a gorilla suit. They bought an outfit that looked like Bigfoot. And they took a boat out, and they snuck around where these people were there for their yearly trek out to try to see Bigfoot. And they parked their little tiny boat behind an island. They hid the boat. They got out of the boat. They went onto the island, and then as these pontoon boats with the people with their cameras out pass by this island, their buddy gets out and walks across the island in his what appears to be a Bigfoot costume. So this happens. Everyone freaks out. They're all screaming and taking pictures of this teenager wearing a gorilla suit. So this happened probably over a decade ago. And then what happened was that this legend blew up. So now where you had a small group of people showing up every year to see if they could find Bigfoot, now you had even more people. It tripled, where people have been coming every year to see Bigfoot. And he was laughing. He thought this was so funny. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny too. But then I asked him, I said, so is it all baloney? Is it all baloney then? And he said, no. And he got really serious. He was laughing, just carrying on, thinking this was so funny. And then he got really extremely serious. And he said, no, Teresa, actually, no, it's not. It's real. And I was like, okay, well, tell me about the real Bigfoot then. And he said, well, I know these lands like the back of my hand. I was born and raised here. And I know these forests. I camp in these forests. And I've heard things that are definitely not animals. It sounds like the loudest sound, and it's stomping, and it sounds like a man, but it's just so loud, it's deafening. He says that he's seen tracks and things like that. I said, have you actually ever seen one? He said, no, but he's heard and he's seen the tracks. So I thought that was kind of interesting to consider this whole concept of what's actually supernatural or beyond the physical and what is, well, baloney. So you have what's baloney. This would be something that's not real. This would be the teenager wearing the Bigfoot suit. And then you have the what's actually really beyond the physical. You could call it supernatural. There are lots of different words to describe this. We'll just say beyond the physical. But then I would say that we would probably want to break this beyond the physical into two categories. You have the purely supernatural, beyond the physical, that's amazing and miraculous. And then you have the other side of it where it's beyond the physical and it could be dangerous, evil, right? We've talked about this before. We talked about the difference between darkness and evil. You can go back through the past, we've talked about that, but we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about, just because this is something that I really wanted to talk about, just because it's real and we have evidence that it's supernatural or paranormal, it doesn't necessarily mean that we should flock to it. So I wanted to talk for a second about ET contact experiences, or seeing UFOs, or interacting with what appear to be ETs, or being abducted, this whole concept of ET contact. And I know that we, in this field of ufology, we talk about the concept of extraterrestrials, UFOs, or governmental experiments, right? So when you have an experience and you're going into the realm of the unknown or the supernatural or the paranormal, and you experience ETs or UFOs, you have to ask yourself, what is this? What is this experience? Is it really extraterrestrial? What are the UFOs? Is it a government craft, right? And so we have to consider this concept of experimentation. You know, we learned about mind control. We've learned about MK Ultra. We've learned about psionic weaponry, where you can be projected into your mind, where you can think certain words or see certain things. You know, I've spoken with a ton of people who claim to be contactees, and I'm sure you guys have too. And we've all had our own experiences of seeing what appear to be UFOs. And it's like, well, what are those, right? So there's a factor here where you have potential contact with ETs. And then you have, well, maybe they're just human, right? Maybe it's just the government. And they're going, yeah, I hope that they just think we're ETs. We can continue flying around up here, right? But then you have this concept of abductees. And you have this concept of contactees that describe marks on the body, bruises on their body. They describe being taken in these crafts and forced to do things or whatever. These things that are not benevolent, it's malevolent, right? So maybe that can be explained by humanity, but maybe it's extraterrestrial. But what I take this down to on a divine frequency level, if you will, is we need to talk about free will. You know, are you being imposed upon? That's not good. It's called trespassing. You know, we've discussed in past broadcasts, good versus evil, like I said, you know, good being using your gift of free will to not infringe upon other people's free will. And then bad or evil would be infringing upon other people's free will without informed consent, right? Doing harm. So another concept, so I wanted to leave that kind of on the shelf because I think this is really important to discuss, right? We have a concept of something that's not real, something that's baloney, something that's faked. And then you have things that are real, but we have to be careful about, you know, what's really going on and asking the questions and trying to really understand if it's good or bad and checking back to this concept of free will and how everyone's feeling. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that I wanted to discuss, which is an additional concept here, would be past life regression therapy, which I think is really interesting to talk about. You guys know, if you follow Divine Frequency, we talk about this a lot. But I think about hypnosis, you know, going into hypnosis, and then you're accessing past lives. And I don't know about some of you guys, if you've ever experienced this, if you've gone into hypnosis, if you've done a past life regression therapy, or if you've read books about it. I've read a lot of books about it. It makes me wonder, though, are you actually accessing past lives, right? Okay, so then this is bringing up the whole concept of baloney, right? And or is it really supernatural? And if it is supernatural, is it a good experience or is it a bad experience, right? Do you need to be careful? So are you accessing the collective consciousness when you're in hypnosis going into a past life? That's a question I always ask, where it's like, okay, maybe they're accessing other people's past lives. Maybe they're actually accessing their own past life. So there's that. Or are we suggestible while in a trance state because our brain chemistry is in a frequency bandwidth that allows us to create images and patterns of thought, kind of like a dream sequence. So then we think it's true, but it's actually not. You know, there are so many different ways that you can look at this kind of material, you know? And what I would say to that is that we really need to stay vigilant and continue seeking the truth. We have to stay grounded. We have to stay connected. And we need to appreciate that beautiful divine connection to the one and only divine creator. You know, I talk a lot about going out into sky watches, right? And getting to experience looking up into the sky with groups of people. You see lights in the sky, and it's like, what are these lights? What are you looking at? What are you seeing? What are you experiencing with groups of people? Everybody's out there potentially, and I've seen some circumstances where everybody's meditating, you're going into a meditative state. What is it that you're interfacing with? Are these ETs? If they are they good ETs? Are they nefarious? Are they benevolent? What is that connection for? Can you actually mentally connect? We've talked about that. Can you actually interface mentally with these beings? Or are they not ETs at all? Is it just governmental craft? So these are just some errant thoughts that I had. What do you guys think? Jump onto Twitter and join us at #DF Airwaves and let me know what you think about how we can look into certain circumstances and define whether something's baloney or not, or if it's real. How are we making sure that we're checking back to what's good for us, what's positive? The way that I would kind of drive this home is in a practical way. We've been given this life. We've been given a gift. What is it that we're here to do? I think that we can get distracted. We can kind of go up in la la land and get off track, or we can come back down to earth and go, how do we use this information in order to improve ourselves and the world around us? I believe that if we continue to stay grounded in our heart space and make sure that we're checking back to our goals for what it is that we want to do, this can really help us figure out what we want to focus on when it comes to researching paranormal topics or whatever, finding ways to look into things that are going to help you with your goals and what you're trying to accomplish in your world. So I'm your hostess, Theresa Canaris at Divine Frequency. Thank you for joining me for this evening's celebration. I hope you guys had a wonderful 2018 and on to 2019. This is On the Airwaves Radio. Life is all about riding the wave between the known and the mystery. For a sparkly dose of mediatainment and personal empowerment with a refreshing blast of glitter and truth, you can join me weekly on Thursday nights on jimmychurchradio.com at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And the live Twitter hashtag is DF Airwaves. You can follow Divine Frequency on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. And you can go to thedivinefrequency.com and sign up for our newsletter to stay in the loop. The times have changed. The tides have shifted. Let's ride the airwaves. All around us are pieces of the gigantic cosmic puzzle. Let's attune to its frequency.
Well done. Teresa, what are you doing? And thank you for that. I hope you had a great Christmas. But what are you doing for New Year's?
I might read. I've got a lot of really good books. I might just post up with a glass of wine and read.
What do you think? Are you excited about 2019?
I am. I'm very excited about 2019.
Well, why?
Well, I'm working on my second book. Pretty excited about that. So that, and also working on some new songs. I'm working on some music projects, which I'm super stoked about.
What do you think will be different from 2019 than everything that went down this year in 2018?
Well, I learned a lot in 2018. I published my first book, What is Magic, in 2018, and I got a lot of experience through that. And I feel like going into 2019, I have changed so much through everything that I've learned that I'm just really excited about what's next, because I feel like it's totally open and fresh and new, and I'm really excited to just kind of pummel into that unknown and go for it, whatever that looks like, just moving forward with this like refreshed fervor that I have for what's next, man. What about you?
Yeah, well, see, 2018 was a pretty exciting, pretty tense year for a lot of different reasons, and I expect 2019 to be more exciting. But if it is going to be more exciting, I don't know if my nerves can handle it. Right? In that 2018, there was a lot to talk about every single day. There was something going on out there, negative and positive. It doesn't matter. But there was a lot of changes and a lot of things that were going on. And if we expect 2019 to be grander, bigger, and better than 2018, it's like, holy crap. What do we have in store for us for 2019? I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, maybe it'll just be super grounded. Maybe it won't be a crazy slew of media.
So would you be okay with that?
I don't know. I'm kind of extra. You know me. We're kind of birds of a feather there, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go grounded. I mean, grounded would be, of course, if everybody just started to figure things out and we got rid of the divisiveness and things started to get rosy. Okay, that's cool. Hey, let's do that. But it's all of the other stuff too as well. But if everybody got grounded all at the same time, that would be pretty cool. I mean, that would almost, you would have to wonder what would cause it. What would cause a united world, a grounded world? What would be the catalyst? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think open-mindedness to hearing and listening to what people are saying, and then being open to understanding what they're not saying too. I think that there's a lot of subtext that can be read in relationships that can help. You know, I think being open and feeling into a situation and allowing people to be who they are is really important. And the more that we do that as a collective, I think it's going to open us all up into a place where we're all functioning way more so from our heart spaces. And I think getting off of cell phone devices and off of the television, out into nature and out in spending time with family and friends in real life is really going to help that.
You know, last night with the Fadernights at the Rainbow, one of the cool things, I mingled and talked with everybody all night, you know, walking around. And what I noticed, the mood was so positive and there was so much energy there. But there were certain things, and there was a handful of them, that were not absolutely discussed or brought up the entire night by anybody for any reason. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And that there was no negativity, there wasn't any gossiping, there wasn't any soap opera. There wasn't any of that. And it goes to show you that if you just, you know, do your thing, right, and just stay positive and enjoy the moment, that is what makes us such an awesome community. And that it was so much fun to enjoy that last night. And the same thing happened. So I'm wondering if this is what you're talking about, right? Because over the weekend, our Christmas dinner with our family was one of the best, and we have a lot of awesome ones, but it was one of the best ever.
Aww.
In that it was just everybody was smiling and laughing, and the food was perfect, and the conversations, and it was just like, wow. You know, we got to the end of the night and just thought to ourselves, that was about as perfect as it gets. And right after that, we go and do this party last night at the Rainbow, and it was more of the same.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, my Christmas was really good with my family too.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So hopefully it's a microcosm. It's a look through the looking glass of what 2019 just may be. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Like it.
Have a great safe New Year's and go do it correctly, okay? Just don't get arrested. Don't goof around.
Back at you, Jimmy. Don't consent to anything.
No. But push it to the edge, man. Push it to the edge and take a peek. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Teresa Yanaris, Divine Frequency on the airwaves. All right, I'm going to get out of here. When I come back, we will be joined by Jeff Harman, and we will talk about 2019 and some predictions for the coming year. And then at the bottom of the hour, we're going to open up the phone lines. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Jeff Harman.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Come join us for the 2019 Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I'll be hosting the panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and David Wilcock. Join George Norrie, Nassim Haramain, Robert Schock, Daniel Brinkley, Grant Cameron, Julia Mossbridge, Teresa Yanaros, and another 50 speakers who will be presenting at the 2019 Conscious Life Expo. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and a full conference schedule, or click on the CLE banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernight by just going to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right. Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. This is our last show of the year on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. And every year, right now, we have on Jeff Harman to talk about 2019. Astrologer Jeff Harman is back with us. And we're going to talk about 2019. And before I kick things off, I'm going to say, Jeff, good evening. How are you, man?
Oh, good evening, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm tired, but I'm working, man. I'm working hard. I'm making it happen.
Yeah. So, and once again, you spent another New Year's with us. And we had great fun last night seeing you and your wife, Camille, there. And before we kick things off, we're going to have Camille on next week or the week after to talk about her new film. But she's now officially in movie star status. What's it like to be the husband of a Hollywood starlet?
Oh, I think it's great. I love it. I told her that was going to happen to her, too. She said, it was funny, about a year ago, she says, Jeff, I'm just so sad with my career. She goes, I've got a master's of fine art. I've never gone anywhere, where I wanted to. I said, just relax. I said, you've got a peak cycle coming up. And I don't think it was but 3 months later, and she got the offer. And she actually started out as an extra in it, and then she got in the scene with Steve Carell and Tyler Perry and of course Mr. Dick Cheney, which he was just amazing in that. They bumped her up to a major part. She got a major speaking part.
Yeah,
really
so cool, and just congratulations, and nothing but big things in 2019. Let's just jump straight into it, and let's talk about 2019. What do you see different in 2019 versus 2018? 2018 was a pretty dynamic year on so many different fronts. What do you see? It really was. Yeah. What do you see as different for 2019?
I think it's going to get more dynamic. For years, people were asking me what the astrology cycle showed. And they always said, what do you think of the Mayan calendar? What do you think of, all these different cycles coming in, the Shemitah? And I could not see anything that really looked like it was going to be earth-shattering. But this year, with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction coming up, which actually happens, it's in orb this entire year, but it's exact January 2nd of 2020, so it's really in orb or under influence this entire year. I think we're going to see more political dynamics. I think we're going to see a lot more tension in the world. And I hate to say it, and I hope I'm wrong about this, but we could see weather extremes go off the charts, and we have been seeing earthquakes light up in the Pacific Rim, but I think we're going to see more. I remember the 1994 quake here, and it was so intense, you could have passed a hula hoop underneath me when that thing hit. I remember the Wilshire Bridge dropped, and we could see something like that. I don't know that the big one, quote unquote, is going to come, but I think we have some alignments coming up between October and December of 2019. I think people should be aware, because even the USGS has said we're really due. And I don't know about the big one in terms of the San Andreas, but I really think we could see another surface quake like that that's very powerful in this region. And I think we also could see the Pacific Rim lighting up even more as these alignments come in.
Is it caused by the alignments, or is it terrestrial?
Well, there's theories on both, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, and you would know, wouldn't you? It may be both, but I really think the alignments. I could not believe how tight the alignment was in 1994.
Right.
It was really tight, and they're getting that way too. See, this Saturn-Pluto conjunction is really, a lot of astronomers don't even believe in Pluto. They say, oh, it's not even a planet. But I went back, and World War I through World War II was a whole phase of Saturn-Pluto conjunction, squares, and oppositions. Well, we just had the same thing. 9/11 happened on the Saturn-Pluto opposition, and of course, the banks crashed in 2008 and 2009, and that's the other thing that I think is really on the radar screen is finances. And again, I want to have good news too, because I think we're heading into a new era here in the next couple of years. But this is the year that I really think we're going to see not only politics become extremely intense, but I think we're going to see the financial systems really be buckling. There's bubbles right now that I'm hearing from people who know a lot more about finances than I do, that we could be in the Western financial system as much as $150 to $200 trillion in debt, if you take it all sum total, not just the U.S. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, here's a little math experiment that I've always been amazed by. At 80 years old, you are exactly 2.5 billion seconds old. Do you know how long a trillion seconds is?
No, how long?
I couldn't believe it. And I did it 100 times. 31,709 years is a trillion seconds. So that gives you an idea what $1 trillion is. How colossal that is.
Right. Do you see the same alignments that for each one of these economic situations that has happened in the past? Are these alignments there for those? And I guess what I'm asking is, are there big swings in the economy when there aren't alignments, right?
Well, there's not swings like this. I mean, they really coincided this last cycle. Ever since 9/11 forward, they've really been coinciding. And the thing I think that's more pronounced about this one coming up is the Earth. If you look at a heliocentric zodiac, which is what astronomers look at, the Earth is exactly opposite of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. The last time I saw something like this happening was... Well, it happened in '82 as well. That was right at kind of the birth of terrorism. But there was another really tight alignment like that back in 1914. The Earth was almost in conjunction. Actually, I stand corrected. It was in conjunction. So this is in opposition. And maybe that's why everyone's so polarized right now. There's so much. I mean, if you bring up politics, you can't even do it. I mean, people just fight. I mean, you go to Thanksgiving dinner and everyone's just fighting over who's right. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, I've never seen the world like this.
And let's
not my lifetime.
Yeah, and right now we've got a weird mix of stuff. I want to stay on the economy for a second. We've got a weird mix of stuff. The stock market's up. Unemployment is at its lowest. That feels pretty solid for everybody. But yet, we've got all of these economic indicators that it's not really as rosy as it seems. And we're getting some good, but it's also mixed in with the bad. And I'm not so sure what that's going to do for 2019. So what are you seeing in that area?
Well, I really think they're going to do some kind of a reset is what it looks like. That's what I'm hearing, too, is they're going to go, and we may not even know that it happens, but I hear that they're going to go to an asset base or an SDR or even a blockchain version. A lot of people think that they're going to try and eliminate the Fed. I don't see that one as much. I really don't. I think the Fed's here to stay, or some version of the Fed under the Fed's umbrella. But it really looks like they've got to clear some of this debt. When you look at Europe and you look at Deutsche Bank and Lloyd's of London, I mean, they're just in colossal debt. So are we. I mean, what are we at? Like $4.4 trillion a year right now is our budget.
Right.
And $21 trillion or $22 trillion in debt is just, it's staggering when you think about it. And there's a lot of financial people that I deal with in astrology, and they're all saying the same thing, that the bubbles are huge, but they can keep printing the money. If they keep raising interest rates, they're going to, I think, cause a lot of trouble. And I think we're going to see some drastic financial shifts this year. It looks like the stock market, though, from what I can see, is going to keep this yo-yo effect, these huge gains, huge losses, huge gains. And Trump when I look at where he fits in this, he's got a tough road this year. He has. I think they're going to go after him really hard. How successful they're going to be, I don't know. But I think the fact that the Senate has the strength, the astrology shows that he's probably going to come out of the woods with this. That's what it leans towards.
And do you have a timetable as you look at the charts? If there is going to be a big swing or anything that happens with the economy, do you know what part of the year that'll happen?
Well, I would say there's some big events that are coming this summer, and I can't be sure, but it looks like something crazy is going to happen right around 7 months from now, which puts us, let me look at my notes here, it's going to put us right about August, so somewhere around there, July through August. And it's either going to be somebody's going to do something with an EMP or some kind of a particle beam weapon or something like that. And I hope I'm wrong. And it doesn't look like it's directly going to be here, like I don't think the whole grid's going to go down, but it looks like some crazy stuff is going to happen this summer. And if that happens, that could have some really huge effects on the finances.
Now, when you say EMP, would this be natural from the sun or something man-made and terrestrial?
Looks like terrestrial.
And, It could happen in so many different ways.
Yes, it could.
Warfare, an accident, a testing of a weapon, CERN going awry. Do you see anything like that?
I get it's more of an aggressive act. Yep, more of an aggressive act.
And is it from a major player, or is it from, I'm saying China, Russia, the United States, or somebody from outside?
Yeah, I get it's more Middle East. And that was the other thing I saw. It looks like the Middle East is still a hot box. This whole thing with Iran, Israel, Syria, it's not done.
Could it be?
I hope it is,
right.
But it looks like it's going to light up more.
And I'm looking at the technology that comes out of that area, and I can only think of maybe Iran. Maybe
pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah, maybe Israel. They certainly have that tech. Iran does. Saudi Arabia might.
I mean, China was shutting down our battleships. They were doing it from a, I think it was a cargo carrier. It was about a year ago. Remember that when they actually had a collision?
Right.
They actually said they were shutting down our ships and playing around with the control systems in them.
Yeah, I just saw a movie that had that in it, and it was pretty interesting. I can't remember what the movie was. Now, what do we... okay, now, when you see this kind of thing, we're also talking about an earthquake or some natural disaster type stuff. You mentioned the Ring of Fire. Is that also in August?
No, that looks like it's going to be later, between October and December.
And you're thinking now?
I would get fall through winter is what it looks like, particularly centered right around November and December. That's more where it looks like. I actually had some data on that looked like it was pretty close. The winter solstice of 2019 really has some heavy alignments in there. Those whole 2 months. No, particularly right around the new moons.
And it reminds me of what just went down this month. We had a volcano in Mexico City go off, and Mount Etna over in Italy.
Yeah, and look at the where was the tsunami just now? I forget. It was over by Krakatoa.
Yeah, Indonesia. Right.
Indonesia, right.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff has been heating up, and of course we had the Hawaiian earthquakes as well, or not earthquakes, but the volcanoes, heating up. So the Ring of Fire is definitely heating up. He had that huge quake up in Alaska, too.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, Jeff. For the news cycle for us around the world, it is so big, it is so bombastic, and it is so continuous that we lose sight of these very significant things that have been happening around the world. And that earthquake up in Anchorage was no joke.
It was huge. Oh, that was huge.
It was huge, and it's already forgotten in the news cycle. Mexico City, that volcano lost. Indonesia, that was a crazy tsunami that nobody knew was coming. They had no warning, right? But it's lost in the news cycle. And Mount Etna erupting, but again, it's lost in the news cycle. The stuff is continuously going on.
They just declared Mammoth Lake a supervolcano up in Northern California.
No, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yep.
That's all we need.
That's all we need. Yeah.
Now, what do you see on the disclosure front and UFOs and ET?
Not much. I haven't looked at that either much. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if that happened, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know. It was, 2018 was just so crazy.
We're getting gray hair waiting too, aren't we?
Yeah. And here we are. I've got high hopes for 2019. Something very positive is going to happen. Now, we talked about all the dark stuff. What do you see on the positive side of 2019?
Well, the positive side, I think they're going to either print their way out of this financial debacle, or they're going to have. I think they've got new systems in place already. I really do. They may go to negative interest rates or positive back currency, but the astrology shows once we get through this, at the end of 2020, we're going to hit a high-tech revolution unlike we've never seen, and it's already there.
What do you mean?
Well, we're going to have a 240-year cycle of Saturn and Jupiter joining again right at the end of 2020. It's actually the winter solstice of 2020. And a lot of astrologers will say to me, yeah, but that happens every 20 years, but not when it changes into a new, what we call element, like earth, air, fire, and water. This is an air sign that it happens in. And the last time this happened was at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, which was a little over 240 years ago. And that's another thing I didn't mention, is for the first time in a little over 240 years, the United States, what we call Sibley chart, it was named after Ebenezer Sibley. He's the Mason who had apparently cast the chart for the time the Declaration of the Independence was signed, which in many people's eyes is the beginning of the United States. And that chart has this Saturn-Pluto is happening on the United States natal Pluto, in other words, at the signing of the Declaration of the Independence. So plain English, what does that mean? This is a huge time for this country. You know, we're hearing all this right now, the fight over the border wall and sanctuary cities, and, you know, Trump has polarized the country so much. And I actually think the owners, you remember George Carlin, he said, forget the politicians, you have owners. And I actually think the bankers who really run things behind the scenes kind of want that right now. I think we're heading to a new era, and I think this new era is what everybody predicted would happen in 1985. Remember in the 50s they were saying, oh, we're going to be like the Jetsons by 1985 and 1990. Mm-hmm. I think that we're going to see that in the 2020s. I think we're going to see the roaring 2020s. I think 2019, if the astrology is right, and it usually is going to be a really trying time. A lot of people are going to lose money, and a lot of people are going to make money as these volatile things happen. I think we're going to see Washington become a war zone as the Democrats and the Republicans bludgeon each other to death. And when it's all done, I don't know what's going to be accomplished, but I do think this country will come out of it a lot different politically than it ever has been. So, this is a major game changer is what it is.
The alignment that you're talking about that hasn't, it's been 240 years. Exactly what are we talking about here?
Well, the ancient Egyptian, Chaldean, and I think it was the old rabbis, knew that the flood that happened with Noah was about, there's different agreements as to exactly when it was, but it was somewhere around 3100 BC to 3400 BC. And they base the Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions off of that. And they say that every so many thousands of years, all the planets join in Aries. In fact, it's supposed to happen every 960 years, but it's not exact. So if you move forward with this type of astrology, they say there's what we call great conjunctions almost every 1,000 years. It's not exact, but close. And then there's mutation conjunctions that happen every 240 years. Well, the last mutation conjunction that we had was in the 1700s, which has ushered in the Industrial Revolution. And there's no question we've seen the world absolutely change in such a drastic way in the last 240 years. Well, I think we're going to see it again. I think we're going to be growing teeth and flying around on hovercraft, and it'll be some form of a high-tech drone with hydrogen, and we're going to see stuff that's going to blow our hair back in the 2020s. I just think 2019 has to be viewed as a transitional period getting into 2020, or the end of 2020. This next 2 years looks like it's going to be expect the unexpected. It's going to be almost on the edge of insanity, I think, when you look at how people polarize.
So growing teeth in 2020, so I can hold off on dental work for a year?
I think the 2020s are going to be the roaring 20s. I think we're going to see, I really do, I think we're going to see things take off that have been energies that have been dormant. I think technologies that have been suppressed are going to start to surface, and maybe that's when disclosure will start to happen.
Right. Yeah,
let's hope.
I see another cycle like what we went through between 1995 and 2000. Those 5 years were about as insane of a technical leap as we've ever had in all of mankind. That was a pretty crazy period for us.
You're right about that, yeah.
Yeah,
and that was also the quarter phase of the Saturn-Pluto between the square and the opposition.
Now, if I've got 1 minute left, and I've always wanted to ask.
You're right. The internet came alive then.
It did, well, everything. We switched from analog to digital, CDs and digital and streaming, and all of that happened. Widescreen, flat screen TV, all of that happened.
You're right.
But I wanted to ask you this: in 2001: A Space Odyssey, that alignment with the sun and Jupiter and our moon and Earth, right? That straight, right? That alignment. When do we ever? When will we see that again?
I don't know. That one I'm not familiar with.
Okay. All right.
I think this one that's coming up in 2020 is really unique because it happens right exactly on the winter solstice. I've never seen a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction happen like that in the last 500 years at least.
And I've got 45 seconds. When you say Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, physically what is happening? What are the placements?
They're at 0 degrees. If you look out from Earth,
right.
In fact, there's a cool app you can get, but it actually allows you to see the celestial belt. You literally would see the two planets in alignment.
From Earth, going out.
From Earth. That's right, Earth.
And so one will be in front of the other. Saturn will be in front of Jupiter.
Exactly right.
Or is it? No, Jupiter's in front of Saturn. Shit, I don't know.
Jupiter's in front of Saturn. It's closer, right?
Did I just use a bad word? I think I did. I'm trying to figure it out.
No, that's exactly right. It is in front.
Okay, I got you.
It's closer to the Earth. That's the order. First you have the Earth, and you have Mars, and you have Jupiter, then you have Saturn.
That's right.
And of course, we get that planet that got blown up in between Mars and Jupiter too.
The Kuiper Belt. Thank you so much, Jeff, and have a great. You and Camille have a great, safe, amazing New Year's, and we'll have Camille on the show shortly, and we'll talk about her new film. Thank you so much.
Sounds great, Jim. You bet. Thanks for having me on. Bye.
Jeff Harman, and all of the links for Jeff are over at jimmychurchradio.com. And I'm going to get out of here. When I come back, 2019 looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be pretty cool, at least according to Jeff, and I'm with Jeff on this. It's Fade to Black. When I come back, I'll open up the phone lines. It's open lines for the rest of the night. Stay with me.
out here. We listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. And last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernight? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fader night. Man, we're back after a week off of the air. And then that's it. It's New Year's weekend, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and we'll be back next Wednesday. But it's open lines from here on out. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Or 818-921-6929. If you are on hold, stay right there, and let's get to it. Let's go to Tennessee. You are up first on Fadernight. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. It's actually Nathan in Ohio.
Hey, Nathan in Ohio. How are you?
Doing pretty good, I guess. I had a fairly anomalous experience on the 23rd.
Of December, the day before Christmas Eve.
Yes.
What happened?
Sunday.
What happened?
Sunday. I went to sleep. I sleep in my living room on a futon mattress that's sleeping on my couch. And I feel I open my eyes because I feel a presence around me. And when I opened my eyes, I wasn't in my room. I was in some other... It was kind of... I mean, it was like... It could have been a UFO. It could have been another realm. It could have been anything. But I wasn't in my room anymore. And there were beings moving around. It was very dark, and it was hard to see. And there were beings moving around, but they were very shadowy, and they came around the corner towards me, and they were coming towards me, so I started kicking because I snapped out of my paralysis, and just fear reacted, and I kicked at one, and then I snapped out of it, and I was kicking, and my dog jumped out of the bed because I was kicking so hard. So I don't know if it was a dream experience or if it was a physical experience. I just know that that's what happened.
Wow. And when it was over, it was just over.
No, I went to sleep, and I had a dream about which I've been thinking about doing, which is writing a book about my experiences. And in this dream, my book was out. And I was trying to explain to somebody from my past why I wrote the book and why I had to include parts of our relationship in it and things like that. And it was just a very strange dream that I also had right immediately afterwards because I didn't really waste much time going to sleep afterwards because it was only about 3 o'clock in the morning. So.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to write the book? Are you going to write the book?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I think that's my New Year's resolution.
I think you should. And you need to get everything down as you remember it. You know, you don't want to lose the memories.
No. See, I've had a lifetime of abduction experiences. It's just a matter of where do you start. Do you start where you began to understand that you were an abductee, or do you start from the beginning and kind of explain it? Because there's almost a narrative there, too.
Yeah. You know? There's a timeline, and you should probably, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if it was me doing it, I would go in order. You know, I would just go in order. I'd start from the beginning, whatever that beginning is, but then and just lay it down in order. I mean, that works for me because I have a weird way of remembering things, right? And I always try to place things in my mind with other events and other time, you know, things that have happened at that same time, so I know when it happened, whatever the event is. And I think that's the best way to go about it. So, yeah, write the book, man. And I think that's a good New Year's resolution. Yeah, well done.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Have a great night, Nathan, and enjoy your New Year's, man. 2019 is right around the corner, man. Have fun.
You too.
Thank you so much. That's Nathan in Ohio. And see, the thing with all of this, and I know I talk about this enough, writing a book is crazy work. And I admire anybody that gets it done because to write a book and to commit yourself, I just have such admiration for anybody that has ever done that, let alone has written 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. That's crazy to me. And I have often dismissed the idea of ever writing a book. I don't know if I would ever have anything interesting to write about, but the commitment to writing a book. So I would say that would be a New Year's resolution. I'm going to write the book this year. And if I had interesting stuff to write about and things, well, maybe I would have the discipline, the discipline to do it. Writing a book is crazy to me. I admire anybody that pulls it off. Let's go to Sacramento. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Deb.
Hi, Deb. How are you? How was your Christmas?
I'm so excited to tell you this, Jimmy. It was so great. I got to see two different parts of my family that I don't get to see very often. And they've both moved up here from the Bay Area to the Sacramento area. And so I get to see a lot. I'll be able to see a lot more of them. But see, when I see these people, I have to tell you, listening to your show has really helped me be able to plant seeds with them very carefully without imposing my opinions. But these people have known me my whole life. They know I'm not a nutbag. They know I believe the things I believe, or that I have these interests for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so I've been very carefully planting seeds and asking open-ended questions. And like David Wilcock always says, he's, followed patterns that he talks about, hey, don't take my word for it, and it's all out there, you can research, da-da-da. So that's how I very gently, and I talk about suppressed technology like they've suggested and Emery has suggested. So because I've done that, they've been curious. And so they've been researching, and they've been going down some rabbit holes, and I was so excited to hear the things coming out of their mouths.
Yeah, you gotta
on
love
both sides of the family.
Yeah, you gotta love it when that happens, and sometimes it's such a shock too as well. It's like, what? Who knew, right? But congratulations on that. It sounds like you pulled some people over to the light.
Absolutely, and they are open, and one of my cousins on the day 9/11 happened, from the day it happened, he's like, I knew on that day something was really wrong. So he's been kind of researching that for years, but I told him that, and I'm sure this community is probably aware of it, but they've just court ordered a new investigation into 9/11. So I was able to share that with him, and he's going to be following it. And then they're also investigating the Clinton Foundation. And so I think in the new year we're going to see a lot of truth coming out. And it's going to be volatile and wild and crazy. But it's exciting, too, because until people wake up and realize, what's been going on all these years, and how, like one of my cousins said, we've been lied to all these years about a lot of things, like what we talk about on this show. I mean, their minds are really open, and they're finally really finding things out, and it's exciting.
So what do you have planned for New Year's?
I'm invited to one place for a party, but they tend to get really wild. So, I don't know, kind of like Teresa, I'm kind of thinking about just chilling, opening a bottle of Asti Spumante, watching It's a Wonderful Life, just being real mellow. And then the other part of me kind of wants to be around people, so I'm kind of undecided.
Well, we're going to be in Las Vegas, and I've never been in Las Vegas on New Year's. So if you're going to go big. So that's what we're going to do, and it'll be an experience. Every year on New Year's, we've always thrown, a private party over at our house. And this year's the first year in many, many, many years. I'm going to say this is 2018, probably 8 or 9 years that we haven't had, something private over at the house. And we're going to Las Vegas, so we shall see.
Hey. Hit the roller coaster at New York, New York.
I'll talk to you. Thank you so much. Hey, Deb, have a great, safe New Year's, and we'll see you next week.
You too, Jimmy.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. See you next year.
You got it. We'll see you next year.
Jimmy.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that's such an interesting thing to say. I love it. I love it. See you next year. And I wanted to say, I'll get back to the calls here in a second. Rita and I did something this weekend, and I meant to mention this earlier, that we haven't done in I seriously, I don't know how long. We actually went to 2 movies in one evening. Yeah, we did the double feature. And we went and saw Mortal Engines, and we did that. And then while we were literally in the concessions line for popcorn, Rita turns to me. This is for Mortal Engines. And she turns to me and she goes, "Let's get tickets to Aquaman." I was like, "What? Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm down for that." So we went and we got tickets to Aquaman IMAX, and we went and watched Mortal Engines, which was fantastic. Peter Jackson produced this new movie. He wasn't the director, but it's really good. Special effects are unbelievable. And so we watched that, exited the movie theater, went and had dinner, which was Steak and Shake. We went and ate a Steak and Shake, quick half hour, and then turned around, walked back in, and watched Aquaman in IMAX. And we walked out. So we get to the movie theaters at like 3 p.m. and got home at around 11 o'clock that night. And actually went and saw 2 movies in one evening. Haven't done that in such a long time. Great fun. I highly recommend both movies. Both fantastic if you're into special effects and science fiction. You're going to enjoy both of these movies. And you know what? If you can pull it off, watch both of them at the same time. And so there you go. Let's go to Missouri. Missouri, you're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
This is the Missouri Patriot.
The Missouri Patriot.
Last Thursday?
Yes. The unnamed Missouri Patriot.
So when I called last time, it didn't sound very human. So I want to humanize myself before we talk more, okay?
Okay.
9 years old, been married 21 years. I have 5 children.
Okay.
3 of them are in the military.
Okay.
2 of them girls, and they're nurses. So I'm probably skilled at raising children. I want to qualify with my work a little bit. I have a tested IQ 3 times, twice of 157 and once of 155. So if you go and look up the numbers on that, that'll tell you how smart I am. Starting back when I was 15, you have to go into this and you have to learn a little bit of everything, right? A little archaeology, geology, astronomy.
Sure.
I mean, just so many ologies. It's crazy. Now, I'm not accredited from any university, but I've sat down with textbooks that are 4 inches thick and read them all from front to back.
Okay.
Not that I could ask a lot of questions, but a lot of stuff doesn't need explanation, So I just wanted to qualify myself there a little bit, so in case someone had heard some of my previous messages Thursday, that they would understand that I'm not some crazy lunatic who's calling from a payphone somewhere, slobbering on himself with poop in his pants.
Okay, but those are good phone calls too. Those are legit.
So you asked me to call back, and I'm willing to call back and tell you what some of my findings are, or we can take a separate route. I pulled out 4 of my flashcards here that over the past about 20 years that I've written stuff down on. And I think, just like the young man before us said, I think I'm going to write a book.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be received well, but I'm going to write a book, because if I don't, I'm going to die with this information that I've collected after 35 years, that I've driven away half of my friends and half of my family with, because they don't want to hear it,
Okay, well, let's do this. Okay. You have the 4 flashcards in your hand, right?
In my hand.
Okay, flip them over backwards and fan them out.
Okay.
Okay, and then from the left, count to 3. Give me the 3rd card.
Okay, Wolfgang. The top of the card reads Wolfgang Goethe. Wolfgang Goethe was a philosopher, a German philosopher that lived in the 18th century. One of his famous quotes are, "None are more enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free."
That's right.
It's an incredible thing. It's also, I kind of put things together like that. And so also on the card, are anomalous things that science refuses to tell people, because we can't have people putting things together, because then they start to wonder why they're going to work for 12 hours a day and not being home with their family, and et cetera, et cetera. And so on this card, I also had that there was corn in India. I don't know if most people understand what that means, but corn has been found in India.
Really?
Yeah, corn has been found in India. So the one vegetable that absolutely proves without a doubt that there was trans-Pacific, let me get this right, trans-Pacific communication was a sweet potato. It's not even a guess. If you go and look at people who study, vegetables and plants and all that stuff, I can't think of what it's exactly called now for whatever reason. It's like I couldn't remember Robert Bravall when I called you last week.
Right.
But it's the proof. It's absolute proof. Peanuts were found in Western China that were 2,000 years old.
And peanuts are indigenous to what region?
Peanuts are an America's thing.
Is it really? It's an America's thing? Okay.
Yeah, just like cocaine was found in Egyptian mummies.
Right.
Cocaine.
Right.
And specifically a mummy that was tested by an extremely talented woman, and she was called the Lady of the Two Lands.
And same thing, isn't there something with tomatoes too as well?
That's correct. Yeah, we all think about Italians cooking lasagna for 2,000 years, but tomatoes are from South America, so they didn't do that.
Right. And this is what blows my mind about that. Now, we all think, I'm telling right now, if you ask anybody where tomatoes come from, they're going to say Italy, right?
Absolutely.
And I understand why. Now, but if we go back, they originated in South America, and it's like, wait a minute here, we got to pump the brakes. Are we saying that before Christopher Columbus, there was no tomato sauce in Itoly? Is that what we are suggesting here?
That is exactly what we're suggesting.
I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
It's true though. There's so many of these things. Osiris is a story of Joseph.
Oh, I think we lost you. Patriot, are you there? Okay, we lost you for a second. Okay, continue.
Sorry about that. I was just saying, like, the story of Osiris is actually the story of Joseph. You look at the two of them; that's what it is. The story of Joseph is retold is a retold story that is the story of Osiris.
Right.
These are things we believe about the Bible. Okay, this is also on the card. There was no Noah. It's period. Theologians understand it actually too. The actual man's name was Utenpishtim, and he was a Sumerian, and he was the Noah figure in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
I agree with that, but this is another part of it where I think. Because when we look at Gilgamesh, okay, obviously the story is there, right? It's the story of Noah. There's no doubt about it. But
right.
But the Gilgamesh, the Gilgamesh tale out of Sumeria is not the only flood myth singular to that culture. Every culture has got the same flood myth. So we can look at this. We can look at this a few ways. Was the flood global? Was there stories to be told from every culture around the world at that time where they all experienced a flood? Whether it was caused by rain or it was caused by tsunamis, I don't know. Was
the Upper Dryas event?
It could be, right? Yes. So is it just that every culture? So Noah is a story that is similar to Gilgamesh and other cultures just because they all flooded? Could be.
Okay.
But yeah, I hear you. And see, this is what's strange to me.
So check this out, Jimmy.
Okay.
So what you and I are talking about, there's the same thing. Is the anomalies of things progressing through the centuries. And I have written down here on a card beside it that says each is a refinement. And what I'm talking about there is I'm talking about religious text. The older you go, and this is my stuff. I mean, I literally had the Book of Mormon sitting beside me because I wanted to refresh the Book of Mormon. I've read the anomalous. I've read every serious religious text that you could find in the world. I've read the Transtuagint, which, you find things like it wasn't the Red Sea, it was the Reed Sea. Oh, well, why the hell do we keep mistaking that? Well, I don't know. Somewhere someone wants us to continue to mistake that. But here's to get back to each as a refinement. The older you go back in religious text, you get what I've written here as little to come and more what happened and what we did, which means when you read those, you get very little of what's to come, but you get much more of what happened here and what we did. The gods had us build this. This is what happened at that time, very little to come. And as you progress through each religious kind of era, the story is refined. And the newer you get in religious text, it becomes less about what happened and what we did and more about what's to come. And I think that, this is part I hate to speak on things that I can't prove on. We know that aliens are here, but we don't know in what capacity they have either helped or not helped man. We know that, say, modern grain appeared just outside of Göbekli Tepe at the exact same time around Göbekli Tepe was being made. We also know that from botanists who do the genetic work that basically it appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. It's a fascinating concept. And when, I speak about it a lot, but I don't know when we are talking about Stone Age man, okay, that I don't know what happened where some guy that is foraging in the ground for seeds and trying to figure out how to feed his family every single day, right? Hunter-gatherer situation, Stone Age man.
Right, it's city full of people, right?
Right, and then suddenly one day he goes, hey, I had this idea. I figured out how to domesticate wheat. Well, hold on a minute here. We need to pump the brakes on that truck. We need to just slow the train down before we start jumping into this. Now, there's no question that it happened, but where does the knowledge come from? That is a crazy concept. Hey, listen, Patriot, do me a favor. I've got to head to a commercial. I'll see you next week on the show, but in the meantime, have a great, awesome new year, and I'll talk to you next year.
Okay, brother.
Have a great night.
You too, man.
Great. All points that need to be addressed all of the time. I want to know where this knowledge comes from. I really do. To me, there's nothing fresh in that everything was taught. It was taught. Where does it? Who's doing the teaching? This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fadernight. This is our last show of 2018. That's it. We'll see you guys next year when we get back from Lost Wages. We're going to Las Vegas for New Year's Eve. Let's get back to the phones. It's our last show. I'm in a great mood. And I walked down the hall into Rita's studio and I said, you know what? It's our last show. Taco truck. That's the warning. Taco truck. All right, let's go to Toronto. Toronto, you're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Bodan, and I'm actually calling you from Cuba on my Toronto line. I wanted to say, Jimmy, you're my go-to guy now since Art's passed away. So everything, I get all my info from you now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Now, wait a minute. Let me understand what's going on here. You're calling from Cuba, yes, with your Toronto line. What are you doing down in Cuba? You on vacation?
I'm vacationing.
Very cool.
A lot of us Canucks, because it's a pretty good bang for the buck. And I wanted to see it before, things start to change here, hopefully for the better. But I got to tell you one thing. When you go to like a third world country, you really appreciate what you have back home.
Oh, there's no question about that. No question about it. There's none at all. What part of Cuba are you in?
We're in Veradero.
Where's that?
It's on the upper right side. So I think the eastern tip
right.
of Cuba.
And so all the classic cars running around?
Oh, yeah. We took a tour of Havana the other day.
Right.
And we were in one of those, I think it was a 57 Ford something. I forgot the exact car. But it was, what they actually do is they put in Japanese engines into these things.
Oh, right.
And the body is solid.
Right.
It hasn't rusted, but they just replace all the parts.
Man, how cool is that, man? They'll do anything to keep those things on the road. So cool. Japanese engines.
Very resourceful. Actually, we were going scuba diving, and the car broke down, so he took one of the ventilator hoses and fixed the car right there on the spot. So it was pretty funny.
So you're in a 57 you're in a 57 Chevy with a Toyota 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Diesel. It was a diesel.
That is nuts. That is nuts. All right, so what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was just listening to your predictions for 2019, and brings me back to me being in Peru, and I took ayahuasca. And during my ayahuasca experience, I've already had 4 or 5 things come true. One of them, and I wrote it down, so I've got proof. One of them, I saw number 50,000.00, or a bunch of zeros, and I thought it was $5 million. And I said, my brother-in-law is going to win $5 million. And a couple other things. And on top of that, sure enough, 3 months later, my brother-in-law calls me. He goes, Bodan, guess what? I go, what? He goes, I won $50,000 in the lottery. And I go, no way, because I had a vision you won $5 million.
Oh, man.
But during this ayahuasca experience, I found out about free energy from aliens. I started speaking to God, and he started he was pretty intense. But God was able to ask any questions that I wanted to. And I said, well, what about religion? Who's the true religion? And he goes, well, definitely Jesus and Buddha. And all of a sudden, I see Jesus Buddha giving Jesus a big stomach bump in the air in this vision, and both Jesus and Buddha are laughing. So it was like really, really intense. But for ayahuasca, if anybody doesn't know, ayahuasca is not like a party drug. It is a medicine, because there was no party taking this medicine. I had a bit of an accident a few years back where some evil spirits kind of pushed me into a ditch, and I broke my neck, and it was my not physiotherapist, but one of my naturopaths says, you got to go try ayahuasca, maybe help you take care of some of these issues. But what really baffled me is, as I was saying, I wrote down all these different visions I had, or it was told to me. And one of them was God going to me, goes, Bodan, watch this. I'm going to align all these planets. And all of a sudden, he's taken Jupiter, and he's taken Mars, and he's taken Earth, and he's putting them all in the lineup. And then he said a couple other things. How much money you want in your bank? You want 100,000? You want 200? And I started saying, no, I want more. And he goes, okay, well, keep going. Tell me when you want to stop. And sure enough, my bank account's been increasing. So it seems like absolutely insane. But one of the things I'm trying to figure out now, after I heard your show tonight, about these planets lining up.
Right.
What is going on with that? what can you tell us, Jimmy?
I depend on. I've got a few astrologer friends that I'm always talking to that, and they have different charts and different methods of reading those charts. Myself, I have not studied astrology, so I don't know. Look, I hear about, Mercury is in retrograde, and I hear these comments, and I try to follow things, and I've had a lot of readings from astrologers, but I haven't studied it. The one thing that I can say that when I've had my charts read or astrologers have said certain things to me, not about me personally, just about events in the world, that for some reason they are correct. And I think that there is a connection there. And astrology. Look, this is a science. This is something that has gone back, thousands of years, and it has been massaged and developed and perfected over time. And there needs to be consideration when an astrologer says something, and that there is something lining up, and that we need to take a look at this. That's what we need to do. Just step back and take pause. And that's the only thing that I can say. Wow, look, I'm going to go back 2 or 3 years, and I had a reading from an astrologer, and the astrologer laid out 4 weeks for me from that day, 4 weeks in forward, and said, okay, this is what's going to happen this week. This is what's going to happen next week. And this is the week after that. This is the week after that. So watch out for this, take consideration here. And then next week, just watch out for this. Don't make any decisions. Just observe and know that these are the things that are going on. You're going to see stuff going on around you. Consider that and don't react to it or and I'll be damned, man. It was crazy. I just observed over the next 4 weeks everything play out, and it was fascinating to me. And what was really crazy is if I wasn't, and this is what's important here, if I wasn't told about this, I would have observed all of this in a different mindset. And I would have thought it was something else, like this person was being negative because they're a negative person. This person's being positive because or this is going on because of this. But when you look at it from a different perspective, and just kind of ride through it, it's fascinating. And I had to just.
Have you ever heard of enneagrams?
Enneagrams? No. What's that?
Yes. Well, it's basically a way of identifying different personality types.
Okay.
And by slotting this person into a certain personality type,
yes. Yes, I've done that. I've actually done that, and I've gone through the classifications. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Yes, I have. And you know what? What's really interesting, and I went through that with about 100 people. And at the same time, we were on a retreat together, a corporate thing. And everybody got classified, right? And now, and you're looking at everybody with their classification, and it totally opens you up to why everybody is the way that they are. And it's a fascinating thing to go through. And when you do that, this is what's really, you start to totally accept the situations for what they are.
And you also learn how to communicate.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's exactly 100%.
For example,
or the lack of communication.
Right. That is true too.
Yes,
that is true too. But anyways, one other quick thing I wanted to put in, because I know you probably got a lot of people you want to talk to, is I feel it in my bones, and all my readings and all my awakening that I'm going through right now. Something huge is going to happen consciously.
I've been on Dr. Greer's expedition a couple times already, and what he said at his expeditions is we need 1% of humanity to wake up. And just like the dye, like you got a big bucket of water, and you put a little bit of dye into that bucket of water. Well, you don't need the whole planet to wake up. You just need he said about 75 million people to wake up. And using the dye analogy into the bucket of water, you put in 1 drop, nothing, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, maybe around 15 or 20 drops. That whole bucket of water is red. Now, the reason I'm saying this is I just feel something huge is going to happen, and we need humanity to wake up. We need to implement all these free energies. We need to start loving each other. We need to stop killing each other. And once we do that, look up into the stars. There's billions of planets out there. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I don't think God's put all his eggs into one basket of these idiots here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can just wake up and stop killing each other and stop ruining the planet, I think these ETs and these aliens and God and Jesus and everybody else is going to come down and show us a lot of things that we've been held back or haven't been told about because we're just not ready. And anyways, sorry for talking so much, but what do you think? Do you feel something coming, Jimmy?
I do feel something coming, and I don't think there's any question about that. I feel the vibe just like everybody else does. But you are absolutely right. If I'm ET, right, and I'm looking at planet Earth, and we're shooting and killing each other and not taking care of each other, and there's hunger and health and education issues on this planet, I laugh. I'm just like, what? They got a ways to go here. If we went to another planet where it was a planet like ours where this stuff was going on, wouldn't we collectively step back and giggle a little bit and go, wow, they don't have it together? And even though we're doing it here, we would think that about another planet. We really would. And how hypocritical is that? And that's really the truth. Hey, Bonan, do me a favor. Have a safe, fun, amazing vacation down there in Cuba. And enjoy your New Year's. And we'll talk to you next year, man.
Thank you. All the best. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, all the best to you, too. And a great phone call that was. Toronto via Cuba. Just amazing. Let's go to San Antonio. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. San Antonio, are you?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Josh from San Antonio.
Okay, there you are. How are you, man?
Good, man. Good. How you been?
It's our last show of 2018. Can you believe it?
Oh man, it's crazy. It was a great phone call. I heard it, and I look forward to some big things here in 2019. I've been paying attention to. So
yeah, absolutely. So what's on your mind tonight, Josh?
All right. Hey, I just have a quick question for you. So I listened to your interview with Tyler Glockner a while back, and I guess you guys had set it up for that premiere you guys had been to with the Bob Lazar movie is what I'm assuming. I know you guys talked about it, but he put out another video, and it's called Secure Team at War with MUFON, and he brings up a lady named she's some type of director at MUFON.
Okay, I haven't.
Her name is.
Okay, before you continue, I haven't seen the video.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
It says Secure Team at War with MUFON. That's the name of the video. I'm not going to go into great detail about the video, but the lady on the video claims that one of his recent videos was CGI.
Okay.
And I know you guys had a discussion about that, about some of his videos, and Tyler said that some of his videos in the past he had got caught, and he had tried to be more careful. and he's probably the biggest channel out there with that type of content that I. And he really reaches a lot of people, and he did an interview with Bob, and it was you know how important Bob is to our community. I've been following Bob since the 80s, just like everybody else who's in this community. And I think it's so important to put content out there that is real, that is super, 100% real, not to fool anybody. But she claims that one of his videos is CGI anyways. And you guys had this discussion in length about him being careful and him saying that he was careful. You guys did a top 10. Well, you guys only covered a few of those because you guys got in discussion about them. But my question for you is, what do you think overall about Tyler's content? And do you think the most of the content that he does is real? And do you think that he's honest about the content that he puts out? Because I'm a big follower of Tyler, and I would like to believe that the content that he does put out is honest and truthful, and he does have sources that are behind his videos that are authentic and genuine.
Yeah, okay. I have a couple of comments there. One is I haven't watched all of Tyler's stuff, but I have watched a lot of it. Okay, a lot of it. And I would say that the majority of stuff now, and this is my understanding from Tyler, is that, look, he gets the video sent to him. He takes a look at the videos and does a commentary over the top of the videos and posts them on Secure Team, right? Okay, so there's that part. I don't believe that Tyler is creating CGI. Computer generated computer graphics. I that takes a lot of time and so forth, and a lot of talent. So even for the bad, ones, it still takes a certain amount of talent. And I wouldn't even know how to go about it myself. But that being said, the videos come into Tyler. He does his video commentary or his audio commentary and posts the videos. What videos come into him percentage-wise that are fraudulent, right? A hoaxed video? I don't know. But so that's one comment. The other comment is this. I don't know. Putting Tyler aside, okay, let's remove Tyler from the situation. Okay. I get sent videos all the time. Jimmy, you got to check this out. So, and I'll go and it'll be somebody's YouTube channel, right? And I'll go and I'm looking at something that obviously to me is just stupid, right? It's just stupid. But I'm looking at the comments. And I'm looking at they're here. This is amazing. Keep the post up. Keep the stuff coming. This is amazing. I'm like, what are you guys looking at? Right? How can you look at this and say great video when this is some cheeseball CG created BS? But people see what they're going to see. Now, let's take it one step further. I don't understand why some people don't see the same things that I see, right? I don't understand that. But let's take it one step further. Now, let's go to comment number 3. When Tom DeLonge was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan asked, right? And Joe Rogan says, well, show us a video. And DeLonge is over with the mouse, right? And he's pulling up a video. And he goes, here's one right here.
Jamie to pull up this video about
the TR3B, right? Now, that video has been up on YouTube for a long time. And it's a video that I've laughed at, and look, and I saw Joe Rogan's reaction. He's rolling his eyes. He's like, oh, you got to be kidding me, dude. This is the fakest video ever. DeLonge took it upon himself to play that for Joe, who's got a huge audience, man, a huge audience. Everybody's watching it at the same time. And you know what we all thought? And I was like, oh, man, Tom, Don't do this to yourself. And the video was rolling. I'm doing the same thing that everybody else was, which was laughing. It's a joke video, but Tom doesn't see it that way. Right? I don't understand it, but I'm not in Tom's head, and he's going to see what he is going to see. So let's take all of those 3 comments that I just gave you, and let's go back to Tyler for a second. And he gets sent a video. You know what? He may not see what we see. You know, and the comments may come in, and then he'll go and take another look at it. And go, oh, you know what? It is CG, okay. But we have to look at things in its totality that way. You know, I don't know why Tom would see that TR3B video as being real, but he
did. I have a Nikon P900. You know what I mean? And it's not easy to catch craft that are miles upon miles and hundreds of miles in the sky sometimes. It's not easy to zoom in on these things. On some of these videos you see, and they got these crystal clear quality, and it just seems like you see that so much with some of these big names and on some of the UFO videos that I watch. But it's just really hard to tell which is which. It's very, very hard to tell.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I guess off that, my last question is, okay,
sure.
So you bring up Tom. He has a star-studded cast of scientists behind him, and I know you've had this conversation. Many other people have had this conversation. Why would that star-studded cast of scientists that are behind him and backing him, or seemingly backing him, why would they continue on and then put stuff out to where it's being put out there in the media for the very first time ever? I remember when on December 16th or 17th or whatever that was, the last year, when you talked about it on your radio station about how big of a deal it was that these videos with the Nimitz were being played on CNN and Fox and MSNBC and the BBC, and how big of a deal that was. And Tom DeLonge was associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tom is putting that video out there, and all of us are laughing at that video, and he is, why wouldn't he be on the same page? And how could he not have been advised by those guys not to put content out there like that, or to actually believe that content when this is such a big deal?
Right. We are all perplexed with that very same question. Okay, we all are. And when right after the Joe Rogan show, I talked to Tom, and he regretted it, and I know that he did. And it was a stumble that turned into a full-on crash. And it was just like he got himself buried and couldn't get himself out of it, and it happened very quickly. I didn't like the way Joe Rogan handled it. But if we take it, a step further beyond that, why do the Joe Rogan show to begin with, and why not go into that more prepared? And who is guiding that? At a certain point. Certainly after the show was over, there are things that you regret in life. You wish you could rewind and have a do-over. But unfortunately, there wasn't. But going into it, you go into a show like that with that kind of audience a little more prepared, and you can't wing it willy-nilly. And that's what happened. Joe, being the predator that he is, trolled DeLonge on that show. He slapped DeLonge around, and he didn't need to do that. You show DeLonge respect. You don't purposefully, try to embarrass your guest, and that's what he did. And because of that, I haven't gone back and watched any Joe Rogan since. You don't smell blood and turn into a predator, and that's what Joe did. And whether Tom is mistaken or not, or there's issues with Tom, you don't do that to a guest, and that's what Joe Rogan did,
Right.
and
Joe
that was
takes
unfortunate.
The path of least resistance, and that's exactly what he did to Tom.
And
I agree with you.
Yeah, you don't laugh at your guest. You don't do that, and that's what he did. Listen, Josh, I've got to get out of here for a break, but thank you.
Sir.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next year. Have a great, safe New Year's.
You too, Jimmy. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you. Great phone call right there, Josh. Go out there and have a good time on New Year's, man.
You too now.
Thank you so much. Great phone call. This is Fade to Black. It's our last show of 2018. I've got one segment left of phone calls. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back, and we'll continue this Fadernight. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi folks, CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. Our last Fadernight of the year. Our last show of the year. That's right. We're going to see all of you in 2019. Absolutely incredible. Rita and I are headed to Las Vegas after this and going to go out there and spend New Year's Eve with our family out there in Las Vegas. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I guess, I mean, what do you do, right? So I guess we're going to be down on the strip. There's going to be fireworks everywhere. I guess that's what there's plans that are made, but I'm really looking forward to it. And right after the show tonight, we're heading out to the frozen tundra that is Los Angeles right now. It's very cold here. It's very cold. It's probably 30 degrees outside is my guess. And we're going to go find our favorite taco truck and head home and start this weekend. And I want all of you to do the same thing. So with that, let's get back to the phones. Neil, you're up next. Neil, how you doing?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, Neil. Did you have fun?
I made it back home all right.
Did you have fun last night?
I hope. Oh yeah, it was amazing, man. I mean, it was good. It was a good, fun thing. Good atmosphere, like you was talking about. We're going into a new year and stuff.
But it was
a couple
pretty
days ago before.
Well, hold on, Neil. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Pretty amazing to be around all of the Fadernauts, right? Everybody there last night, and you're quite the celebrity now. How did that feel? Everybody knew who you were.
Yeah, but I wasn't going around boasting nothing.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's pretty cool to be around the family and everybody knows who you are. It's kind of like, you remember Cheers, right? The TV show. It's kind of like that, man. You get to hang out and everybody knows your name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a couple of days before we went to the party, I was getting out the car early in the morning, and I had my cell phone. I was looking at YouTube,
Uh-huh.
And when I stood up, the person that was on the phone, I could see their bones like an X-ray. This was another encounter. Now, I don't know, if the aliens just beamed me up, like beam me up, Scotty. But I never seen that before. I'm looking at my phone. I got it in my left hand. And there's no telling how many times this could have happened, because I never did this before, right? So when I got up out the car, I was looking at the phone, and the woman, I could see her bones and stuff in the video.
Wow.
And that freaked me out, man. And, this alien abduction, I know they abduct me. It's kind of like being raped, or violated. I know that other girl, she was speaking about that too. I'm not a happy camper. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. Well, let's get back to that. But I want to ask you, you got a hat last night, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. That was pretty cool, yeah.
You got a fade to black hat. Are you wearing it?
Yeah.
Are you wearing it?
No, not right. I don't want to mess it up. I don't wear a hat unless I go into public maybe or something,
You were wearing a hat last night.
Yeah, I was wearing a hat last night. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
but I don't want to mess up that hat,
Oh man, I'll get you another one if you mess it up, man. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, But I wanted to talk to you about the research because a lot of people, we have a great awakening happening. I have to be a part of this because these ancient scientific things that I'm doing, it came natural to me, like going underneath a tree, using the aura of a tree, and I laid down underneath the tree to meditate, And the tree, it was a big live oak tree, so they were big. This is in Louisiana. And I laid there, and all at once I seen, like, purple colors, and stuff like that or whatever. And it happened very quickly. And I was laying in back of the Suburban, with the seats down and stuff. And I came out of my body, and I saw this woman with a robe on. She was sitting in the oak tree looking at me, like observing me. So she flew up, and I flew up after her. I followed her up. And as I was going up, I saw this circle, and these people were looking down at me coming up,
Uh-huh.
So as I went up there, I saw all these people with robes, like, the beauty pageant, how they got the little stripe thing, they're wearing.
Okay.
They all had that. It's like a sash or whatever you want to call it. And they all had these robes on with different colors. And then I was moving along through there. I started moving to the right. And, they all started moving out the way because it was like there were a whole bunch of them, together. And all at once, I saw this big white figure show up. It was bigger than the, all the little bitty people I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a third eye on its forehead. And the thing, it was dressed in white. And I think what happened is they all came together as one thing, maybe. I don't really know. When you're seeing this stuff, it's hard to explain or hard to understand. And it was my face. It was me.
Hmm.
And the freaking eye that's on the forehead, it freaking blinked. It blinked, and I said, "Holy shit, man!" Oh, it was a hard ass, and I went down the tube. I went down back to my body, and I saw these people, running to the hole, looking down at me as I was going back into my body. And then I opened my eyes. It's like, holy crap,
Right.
So, but I left my body, and I was seeing this stuff. So I know there's a third eye on your forehead. Sometimes I look at people and they don't know what I'm looking at. I says, I'm trying to see where their eye, if their eye is there,
Wow.
But,
hey, Neil, listen, I've got a couple of calls I got to get to wrap up this show. I want you to have a great, safe New Year's, my friend. It was great hanging out with you last night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we'll see you in 2019, okay?
Yeah, I hope some people wake up soon, man, because I'm telling you, all this love connection and all, these people that's talking about this love connection of the mind, one mind and the one thing or whatever. A lot of that's a bunch of bull junk because the aliens, we're at war. We've been, the Earth is a slave planet,
Well, let's hope 2019 is going to reveal some more information for us, man. And you're right there helping us. Thank you so much, Neil.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
man.
All right.
Have a great
Good night, man.
Good night. Have a great New Year's. And it was so cool hanging out with Neil last night. It was absolutely amazing to meet him in person, as did all of the Fadernauts. Now let's go to West Virginia. You're up next. Who's calling?
It's me, Jimmy.
Who's me?
Kevin.
Kevin. Oh, hey, Kevin. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's our last show of the year. You excited?
The last show of the year.
I know it.
Yeah, I just had to call in on the last show of the year.
Well, see, this is the deal. I do the countdown, right? I do the countdown. And, next week we'll start with 2 days into the new year, right? 363 left. And it's bizarre. It seems like it's such a long, because we do it one day at a time, one show at a time. But eventually we swing around to where we are tonight. It's the last show. It's the last show. That's it. That's it.
The last show. Yes, been a great year, Fade to Black. Ever since I started listening to the show earlier this year, a lot of great stuff. A lot of knowledge to absorb, too.
Do you have a favorite show of 2018, Kevin?
That would be hard. I mean, so many guests, a lot of them, well, actually, most of them, except maybe Linda Moulton Howe, I'd never heard before, but a lot of great information. Great year.
And what do you...
Just can't wait till 2019.
I know, right? I'm very excited about that. And how do we top 2018? You know, there's so many things that happened in 2018, not only with sightings, but, the political side and disclosure. There's that, and videos, and there's all of that. We had all these movies released, and just a crazy, crazy year. So many things happened, and then you throw everything on top of that. It's like icing on the cake. It was a pretty dynamic year. All the way around, and not only for me personally, but for the community. Just absolutely tremendously exciting. So, what's going to happen in 2019? How do we top this? What do you expect in 2019 that would top 2018?
What I've discussed before, probably full disclosure, although I've said it before, I don't really need full disclosure because what I saw years ago was enough for me.
Right. And for the audience, what happened years ago?
My UFO experience.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened? It was me and a friend, and I saw the cigar-shaped craft.
Mm-hmm. And
it was in the evening.
Yes.
It was in the evening through binoculars and with the lights on, and that, like I said before, it's something that I couldn't really explain, but I seen it. And for me, that's enough.
Yeah, I haven't had the cigar-shaped sighting, and I know that, I've talked about that before, and I've mentioned it so often. When I hear those descriptions from witnesses, and I've heard the same thing. I mean, I was a little kid, and I would hear about cigar-shaped craft, right? I would hear these people describe this. I have never seen that. I've seen a lot of different things, a lot. I've never seen a cigar-shaped craft. I can't picture it in my mind. Every time that I hear it, I can't visualize this type of sighting. But you have, but I have not. And I look forward to the time that it happens.
Yeah, it's ingrained in your memory. I mean, once you see something like that, it's there. I can still see it.
Well, I'm so with you, Kevin, and thank you for being around and supporting us for so long. But 2019 is now upon us, and I'll see you next year, my friend.
Yeah, I'll see you next year, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, give it to me. Say, go back, Lee Tepe.
Okay, here we go. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.
You're the best, man. Thank you, Kevin. Have a great, safe New Year's, my friend.
You too, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank you. Man, go Beckley Tepe. And before I get to this next call, well, you know what? Let's just get to the next call. I wanted to. What I was going to do is this. See, we're talking about cigar-shaped craft, and I keep this on the desk here, but. This is, it goes, I can't remember which is up right now. It goes this way. Okay. Here is the photograph taken on film of my triangle sighting. I'm putting my index finger, and so I'm holding this up to the camera. Right above my finger here, you can see a little dot. You see that? Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight and over. That's a black triangle. That's mine. Okay, there it is. It's right there. See that little dot right above my index finger? That is high. That is, I don't know, 50, 60,000 feet in the air. And there it is. I'm going to get it real close. That's a black triangle. That's a crazy photograph. You know, I haven't seen the black triangles, right? I've seen orbs. I've seen all kinds of things. I have not seen the cigar-shaped craft. I haven't. I look forward to the day that it happens. All right, let's go to it, man. Scott Thomas Richards, the rocker. How are you, man?
We got a long way to go.
You know,
Jimmy, how are you, my brother?
Rumor has it you used to be a singer. But from what I just heard, I would never believe that.
Hey, Jimmy, let's start a band, and I'll get up in front, and I'm going to tease everybody. How's that?
You want to start a band? You want to get the band back together? You want to start a band?
No, my band is long gone. Those guys are like carpenters and cement drillers and
I know,
everything
right?
else. But you and I we got a chance.
We got a chance. You want to roll the dice? Oh man, what? I already got a name for the band.
Yeah. What is it?
The Geriatrics. The Geriatrics, and you could come out on stage with a little walker with the little tennis balls on it, and you could come out.
No, I'm not Bob Seger. Here, listen, baby, I go mountain bike riding on the weekends. You and I, we're going to go down some slopes.
So what did you think, man? That was a pretty fun party last night.
Oh, my God, Jimmy, that was incredible. I had the best time of my life. It was so much fun. It was great seeing everybody, and I gotta tell you, I went back into that club, and I haven't been there in something like maybe 30 years.
Oh, you haven't been to the Rainbow in 30 years? Wow.
Listen. The last time I was there, and this is a very funny story.
Right.
I took a picture of this seating that I was at, and I don't think they changed the carpet or the seating since 1982. The carpet looked the same, the seating looked the same.
I know.
But when I was sitting in this little area, in comes David Lee Roth, Axl Rose, and Sebastian Bach.
Right.
And I was just me and my friends sitting at his table, and they said, "Can we sit here?" I said, "Hell yeah!" So they sat right next to us, and we were sitting there talking for quite a while, and then Bret Michaels comes up out of nowhere, and he goes, "Can I sit with you guys?" And all three of these guys at the exact same time in sync go, "No!" And they started throwing ice cubes at him from across the room. It was the best time of my life.
Yeah, you know, when I look back and I think about what was going on at the Rainbow in '84, right? And walking around there, and when you say everybody was there, yes, it seemed like every night of the week, it was certainly the place to be. But if you were lucky enough to squeeze in the front door and get into there, because it's not very big. You know, it's not a very big place. But to get in there, and you would walk around and do the loop, right? Do a lap. And who was sitting at each one of those booths was absolutely incredible. And it didn't matter what night of the week. And then it was what was going on in the parking lot and who was out there and who was hanging out outside. It was so much fun. I can't even believe that those days went down like they did. And look, sure, it was all of the hair band stuff. Yes, it was Bret Michaels and Roth and Quiet Riot. But it was also, you know, if you took a really close look, you know, it's John Entwistle, you know, is sitting at a booth. And, yeah, you know, and Chris Squire, you know, is at another booth. And you know, and you just look down and oh yeah. I mean, but it was so much fun, and you know, so to turn that around last night and to have our party there so many years later, and the memories, and you know, so last night Glenn Hughes is there from Deep Purple, and
that was cool.
Yeah, that was great, and And I'm sitting there talking with Glenn last night. And while I am talking to him, Burn plays, right? And so Burn is going on over the PA system. And I looked at him and I go, dude, is that for real? Right? And I go,
this thing was awesome.
I said, dude, coincidence? And he goes, I think not, Jimmy. I think not. And I go, I know, it's like the universe. So anyway, Anthony, the manager, heard Glenn and I, and he walks up and he goes, no, man, it's just the random playing of the tracks. Right? And he's trying to back it up. I'm like, no, it's not. Come on, man. And we laughed about it. But how cool is that if it was coincidence and it's just synchronicity or whatever. But I'm sitting there talking with Glenn Hughes with Byrne playing in the background. It's just like, man, it just does not get any better than this. And he was so cool. And I got a chance to talk a little conspiracy with him last night. And he just really enjoyed all the Fadernauts, and it was just an epic evening all the way around. So, to have that little rock and roll mix going in with our Fade to Black party, it was just so cool. And thank you for being there and being part of the family last night, man. You made it all complete.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, your story when you got on the microphone and started talking about Indianapolis and you're heading out to California, and it was reminding me, it's like parallelisms between what I was going through.
Yeah.
I was just captivated by all that, and it's just striking resemblance of what every kid was going through when Van Halen hit the radio airwaves and just trying to get out here and make it big.
Yeah, look, your story, my story, that story played over 1,000 times on the Sunset Strip every night. Okay, and that was my reason for not only relating the story, but I was just one of thousands of musicians that were chasing their dreams back then. And what was central to all of that? The rainbow. Right? And I was just one of many, and here I am able to do it with Rita 35 years later and pull it around full circle. And to have Dwayne there last night, that was central to this entire story, and he shows up. Also last night, and I've got to run here, I've got 30 seconds, but my roommate back then with Dwayne was there last night too. He showed up later, Olivier. And so Olivier was able to meet everybody and to just observe what was going on. But it really meant a lot to me and Rita last night to have all of this play out. It was so much fun. So, Scott, what's your plan? I've got 30 seconds. What's your plans for New Year's?
I don't know, man. I've got like a fifth of Jack Daniels here that was going to give him to me as a gift. And I thought maybe I'd bring it up to your house and maybe head to Vegas and drink it with you.
There you go. Come on out to Vegas and bring it, baby. Come on out.
Happy New Year's to you and Rita.
Thank you so much, Scott, and to you and Lise and everybody else. And just listen, seriously, have a great, safe New Year's. Are you gonna hang out with Kerr? Bring Kerr to Vegas.
Listen. I invited Slash, Kerr, and my wife, and they were all sick. So that's why I showed up last night by myself. And it really makes me sick, but I got to tell you something. If we ever all get together, we're going to drink some Beluga.
Well, yeah, let's do that. But the point is, Beluga vodka, obviously. But Kerr, Lisa, Kathy, you, and Rita and I, let's all get together in 2019 and do it up. All right?
Oh, I would love it, man. You guys take care. And listen, Jimmy, you keep pushing this agenda. Push it, because all us faders need this. Just get it going and push it to our answers. And I love you, brother.
Thank you so much, Scott. Right back at you, and I'll see you in 2019. Have a great, safe New Year's, my friend.
Happy New Year, Jimmy.
Scott Thomas Richards, and that wraps 2018. 2018 is in the can. Unbelievable. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to Teresa Yanaris, of course, Jeff Harman, and everybody that called in tonight and tweeted, everybody that was at the party last night. I thank all of you. You made 2018 very, very special. From Rita and myself to all of you, thank you so much. Have a great New Year's, and we'll see everybody in 2019. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go Beckley Tepe.